I'm allowed to say something. Even so. I'll just put it in the chat. Yeah, sorry. Well, it's mostly just.
Yeah, the mic's on. If I want to speak. Okay.
Okay, we will now come to order. Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag. Roll call.
President Carmela Garnica,
Here.
Vice President Rosie Rowell. Here. Secretary Sargent is absent. Director Dr. David Brooks,
Muted, Dr. Brooks.
Here,
Thank you.
Director Sandra Hudson is absent.
Okay, public comment. This is the opportunity for citizens to speak on items not listed on the agenda that are of public interest and within the subject matter jurisdiction of the district. For the record, please state your name. The board has a policy of limiting any speaker to not more than 3 minutes. The board cannot take action on items not listed on the agenda, and board members will not enter into discussion with the speaker, but may instead refer the matter to staff for report and recommendation of future board director meeting. Public input may be offered on the agenda items when they come up for discussion and for action. Open public comment.
Good evening, my name is Brad Robinson. Last meeting I found to be a little disturbing. Here at the last meeting, you had all kinds of members of the community that were asking that any decision that you were going to make of this hospital, that you bring back here to a meeting and do it with the public input. You guys want to ask for the public to be a part of things and to help, but when the public asked you to do something, you guys did the exact opposite. And I found it to really, in order for this hospital to survive, which is vital to this community, we have to have the community behind the hospital. By taking and shutting out the community from making a major decision like filing bankruptcy, I think was a giant mistake on your part. Unfortunately, I hate to say this, but it seems like there's a very lack of people having faith in the leadership of this hospital. And it's understandable. When you take and look back here in January and February, we had the leadership of this hospital telling us the hospital wasn't broke, when actually it was. Maybe the numbers weren't right exactly of how much debt this hospital had, but it had significant debt. We get told that it's all because of COVID. Well, but you go back and look at the numbers, there was like $12 million in the bank at the time, and absolutely nothing got done to make changes to this hospital to make it to where it was more appealing to the community when you were sitting on $12 million. I can tell you for a fact that there was instances where the community tried to take and help the hospital. I know for a fact I talked to board members myself about being able to get a grant that would have put a new x-ray machine in the hospital. All they had to do was come and fill out a 2 or 3 page paper. Nobody ever bothered to come. I know another entity that took and talked to administration and thought they'd have something put together to only take and call them back and not even bother to get a return phone call from them. You say you want the community involved. Well, you got to open up and let the community be involved. What I'm seeing is you guys passing the buck on to somebody else instead of making the tough decisions that the board should be making and not giving it to somebody that obviously the community doesn't have faith in. If what she goes and tells us is not exactly true, how are we supposed to believe it? I understand you didn't have a CFO to be able to take and look at all the documents and understand what was going on financially. But at the same time, how can a CEO not be able to pick up the bank statements and see your bleeding money out and not do anything to take and rectify that? And wait till we're in the situation where we're at today, where the hospital is basically on the road to closure. All of a sudden, we have these miracle cures of things to help. Why weren't we doing them before? That's the questions I think you guys need to take and ask. Because if your leadership wasn't doing that, then he wasn't doing the job.
Any more public comment?
On behalf of the community of Blythe, Rosie and Carmela Vernica, you have been served with the intent to begin the petition for a recall. We will do this as quickly as California will allow us to do.
Anything that they told me? None?
Well, my comment tonight is what it's been all along. I still think you people are doing things underhandedly, every one of you. And like Brad said, you need to become honest and straightforward with all of us in the community. We've been trying to help you and you've just been manipulating and twisting and not giving any of us the truth. Half truths don't count. And I can see it's not very important to either Trina or Ms. Anaya to be here tonight. And we're in a really bad financial spot, but they can't even pay us the courtesy of showing up for this meeting and hopefully answering a question. I don't want to hear from Ms. Wade. I'm tired of her answering for you. It's time you people answer for yourselves. Because that's why you can't answer us, but she's not going to allow you to, because then you would have to tell the truth, and that's not going to work.
Anyone have a comment?
Just noticed on the agenda, Carmela, that the premier contract is on the closed session. Can you tell me why?
I can't.
I asked Carmela.
But I'm gonna-
I asked Carmela. Give the word. She is the board president. After 10 years of being on the board, she should be competent enough to answer a goddamn question.
The closed session is,
Okay.
pursuant to government code and it's listed here.
I read the government code. The government code is specifically says there's a specific collection. The district board cannot have it in the closed session unless there's a specific section that should be satisfied. One of them is if it's a new service. This is not a new service. One of them should be a service that if you bring it up, the hospital has the law. This has been for 12 years on open session. You have discussed it for 12 years, Rosie. Why? You don't have any ethics to come and say, wait a minute, Carmela, why is this in closed session? You worried that your daughters lose their job in the hospital? Is that why? Where is your ethics? Where is your ethics, Carmela? Where is Trina? Where is everybody else to ask a question? This is why these people are upset, for God's sake. I've been here for 12 years with you guys on this board. Not one time premier contract was in closed session. Why is it on closed session now? Is it exclusive contract? Yes or no? Have you looked at it? Rosie, do you know what is exclusive contract? Have you read it, Rosie? Is this exclusive contract? It is not, right? Is it or is it not exclusive contract? It's a simple yes or no. We can't even say that.
You do not have to answer the question. We know.
Why she said you do not have to answer the question? Because she knows if you answer the question, she gets the legal jeopardy because she violated the law by putting that on the closed session. And you guys just follow like a sheep, like a herd of sheep, follow somebody who puts this on a closed session. Why? There is nothing on that. If it's exclusive contract, it should have been approved by medical staff. I don't know if it's not working. Nobody has ever approached me. Nobody has come to the medical staff and said, look, we want to approve this contract. What do you think? You know, the last time you guys approved that contract, you put a clause in there that based on the guy who makes the profit on this contract, he can pay the ER doctor between $4,800 to $7,800 every 24 hours. And I complained. And I said, how could you approve such contract? I said it in closed session. I said it quietly. I said it privately. Rather than fix the problem, no, you put it on closed session so that nobody hears about it, including myself. So that I would not be able to object to any of it. Why? Because you benefit. It's nepotism. The biggest disease of this hospital is nepotism. You pamper your friends, you pay your friends, you give money to your friends, and your enemies, people who object to your making mistakes, you go after me. And you guys sit like a doorknob, for God's sake, not answer a simple question. A simple question, is it exclusive contract, yes or no? The board chair is incompetent to say it. You're incompetent to say it. Nobody knows how to answer the question.
Thank you.
When I first came on as your general counsel, there were many, many contracts in closed session that we pulled them all out. So this is in accordance with trade secrets under the health and safety code, the government code, and the civil code. It is proper.
Bullshit.
Now, in addition, there's In addition,
I will
there were
in my cause and will prove you wrong. You're wrong.
there were many contracts signed by the prior president without board approval. It never came here.
Yes, including Carmelo, $67,000 check. That was given with nobody's approval. Why didn't you question that?
Dr. Shinobi, please.
So we've gone through the minutes, didn't see these contracts on your minutes, but they were approved by a prior administration.
It's a same administration, it's not right.
Dr. Shinobi, can you?
She's lying.
Let's.
A lawyer lying.
You cannot see.
Are you gonna make me say?
No.
I stood here the last time and I'm allowed to record it.
Oh, yeah, no.
Record it, but from a.
Okay, but it's.
Why? It doesn't say no public here. Are you gonna like take that now too?
Did you read that section yet?
It's not.
Is it in the agenda?
It's in the Rosenberg's rules, which they.
And it's printed, you gave it to us late?
Yes. When they adopted, you have it.
So I didn't get a copy and print it out.
No, you have a copy and you can get it on the internet. You have a copy of Rosenberg's rules. You want to take
I can skip and then you go down to.
No, you can take a recess.
Just remember, it's giving you money all this time that they're wasting all this
You don't
time.
think that's what you're doing?
Just
Take a recess and people sit down.
Okay, so the thing is, I was gonna read the part, everybody wants to take control, so the part that I was gonna read here is, if you could stand and report from behind the podium,
But then,
so that you don't encroach in the personal space of us.
not in your personal space, you and I.
She didn't complain when she approved. It's like you're doing the thing. You didn't complain when she gave you a paper. You didn't say it's your personal space. I'm gonna keep it clean.
Who,
The cool off is to get rid of your attorney so you can respond to public, so you can be honest with the people that you live with. Oh, sin. They've taken the hospital to bankruptcy. They're closing the hospital, except the ER, and they still have the audacity to act like they're doing the righteous thing for this town.
What gets me is I was standing here the last meeting, there, nothing was said, even with Blythe PD here, but then you go and make the comment to her to go ahead and call the police to remove me from a place that's a public building my tax money pays for, just like my tax money is paying for your wages right now. So because I'm standing there, I'm how far away from you? And what am I doing to you?
It's not because of that, it's because you're retorting a lie and she doesn't.
You're not afraid, we're talking. You don't want to talk to us.
She is afraid of you recording her post on the internet, knowing who she is with a liar.
We're talking, it's me and him talking.
okay, you make me outside.
No, look at it. It's hot out there. And last time Blythe PD was here, you never told us to move from here. The newspaper guy goes up there, he stood up there at the podium, listening to the speaker, nobody told him to leave. So now that I'm here, it's causing a problem that needs to take a break. This is insane.
I like the fact that you guys are recording.
Okay, then what is the right activity doing?
If you guys could go on that side and record from there, this way.
We block them from seeing what's going on. That's why we moved to the side.
On this side, it's here, on the right side.
Why was my problem at the last meeting? Why is it just now and you didn't notify us before the meeting even started?
It's because we noticed that it was, you were encroaching on the people.
No, I was zooming in like this. I was zooming in. I didn't encroach on you. I zoomed in, and when I stood here for 2 hours, I leaned on the metal pole because I've been working all day long. And I'd come to a meeting, stand here for 2.5 hours. It's always saying you.
Is amount 30, so it's 5 minutes or 3 minutes.
Remember, your attorney's making money, Carmelo. The hospital is broke, but you're willing to pay your attorney for a lie. Yes, you are making a lot of money on this hospital yourself. The only people who make money are the ones that get $67,000 check without the board approval, and the attorney who keeps getting the check while you're not paying the rest of the hospital. You haven't paid me for 3 months, but I bet you paid your attorney every month. Because she wouldn't be here if she didn't get paid.
Position, I'm just gonna put it when we come back.
Well, we're just not going to.
Folks, they're out there in the room, we're gonna take a recess, we can step out, please. You're on it. Yeah. Yesterday, you take a recess. Okay, the recess is gonna be held in a minute. I'm just asking you to step out. They can't conduct business until, yes, they're still in a position to conduct business. Public meetings. Tonight.
I leave my phone back here on live. And steal it. Make sure they don't get that.
So we've done it fine.
Be right here. You do what it can. Get it. They like to stand in the video there, but beer. That's it. Wow. Right. I'm gonna read your own things. We can do this. That's all I'm saying. And the thing is. Thank you. We're not in a hospital meeting there, recess right now. That'd be better. Yeah, waiting for this board meeting to get over. And a little recess. That's right.
You know that, too. I think I get that too. Yes, sir. I call.
It's just a thing. Like, you can't.
That's me. Yeah, it is. That's. I'm sorry. It's not this, that's in it.
I freaking love mowing. And then, you know, I just went to that.
Oh, thank you. No, problem is one shitty. Yes. Already said, you walk around nothing. Good morning, check this out. Well, like me. I got into the fridge and some of that radio. You probably see it. I had one thing. That's funny. That's true. Well, I get that. So that's pretty fun. That's a name. I'll take the team on this, I'll make it look good. Like this. Oh, that's good. Sure. I don't mind the way. I need to wear it back in the day. It's the way of the scene. All the other days. I don't want to do it. It's worth it. What they had until I do it. They look back. You know? Yes. Well, there's this key like before I got this. So this guy couldn't resell. That's like that. It's going to school. That's how we came. It's like the only I see position. So it's like it's the first I see. What? I'm trying to like started school.
Tomorrow. All right, all right.
Oh, yeah. That's the difference. Oh, yeah. Not so crazy. I think, oh, it's crazy, but. Yes, I'm going to say. Yes, sorry. I'm going to say. Yeah. It sounds on my husband. Real fun. It's okay.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna start. South, super. How many times I've been. Thank you, Bert. Yeah.
You said the poles, right? I can't go past the pole, so I can go all the way up to the pole, right? Just making sure.
You know, that view. One of the things get it. Or one of the. Yeah.
Notice you see now that it's been taken.
Yes. It's just
Parts of life.
The number of relaxing and recess is over. We are still in, public comment. Is there any public comment? Okay.
Regarding what?
Elizabeth Bailey, 141 North Tenth Street. Today's meeting is yet another obvious sign of failure. We've been doing this, I know the people that are recording, they've been doing this since October when I got involved in board stuff. It's very disheartening to see your lack of mentorship and leadership. You have failed to answer any question. You have failed to provide to this community a plan, and it's obvious you're never, ever ready for these meetings. These agendas are posted at the last minute, and we know more about them than you. To be an effective leader, you have to gain the respect of the people that you're leading, and you have by far exceeded the failure mark. And what this community would like, is this community would like this hospital to survive. Not the clinic, not anything else. They want the emergency services and med-surg alive. People are having to be shipped out of town to take care of their families, and they don't have the finances to do that. You've created a burden onto this community. Something else I'd like to say is that I have reapplied for Palo Verde in the ER. I was previously the director. I left on good terms. I have 13 years of nursing experience and leadership experience, and I failed to hear from anyone at the hospital other than acknowledging receipt of the application. It is cheaper to hire me, and I live here, than it is to hire a traveler. Their contracts are about $100 to $110 an hour. Per diem is 72, full-time is around 50. We have got to come up with a plan. So ladies, Carmela and Rosie, I hope that you look at this seriously and listen to your constituents and resign respectfully.
Shelley Soto. It's not so much a comment as a request. Every meeting I've been at, repeatedly been asked to please speak into the microphone. People cannot hear you, and you just ignore the request. People are out here trying to hear you. They're trying to hear you, which is why they're getting closer. And I don't understand the reasoning for not speaking in the microphone, not being heard. Trying to hide something is the only thing that would require you not wanting to be heard. So you can hear it loud, you can hear it clear. Please speak in your microphone so we can hear. Thank you.
Any more public comment? Seeing none, we will close public comment. We will now open board comments. Is there anything you'd like to say, like to add, Dr. Brooks?
Muted, Dr. Brooks.
I wish to point out, most respectfully, that I'm the only male on a board of, what was for women. And I have to say that my contributions, were not that strong or good. But I admire the work of the other women that have been on the board They have worked very hard, and this goes for every one of them. I feel that perhaps, we've been directing the hospital for some close to 25 years. And the one problem that I think that we weren't able to resolve, although I have to admit we did try, is to get honest managerial people that can keep us going in the right direction. A lot of times it didn't happen. It ended up of departure of these different groups. But I think whatever the outcome of these sessions that we are having now, that only the best is well vetted and could pretty much meet the approval of all people concerned. And that's basically all I had to say, and God bless all of you.
Thank you, Dr. Brooks. Leslie, do you have anything? Comment on?
I don't know where to start, but first of all, let's talk about the agenda. We get the agenda at least 24 to 72 hours ahead of time. We got this agenda Monday morning. I read it constantly. I print it out on my own computer. I make notes. So it's not like we're getting this agenda right now. This is the final copy we've got. We've had it for 24 to 74. As far as the accusations that we have done something wrong, Brenda said it last week. We have done nothing sinful. We have done nothing illegal. We have done nothing wrong. Have we made some bad decisions, maybe? I will be the first one to say probably, because we're not perfect. I've said this before. Nobody is perfect. Nobody in this room is perfect. I'll bet you any of you can look back on your lives and say, didn't I make that decision? I have done that. As a moral woman, I have made decisions that I look back on that maybe we shouldn't have done it that way. But we've never done anything illegal. We've never taken a penny. We haven't done anything that wasn't kosher, legal. If you have something that you think that we've done illegal, or you think that we've taken money, come tell me about it, and I'll explain it.
I did, you didn't explain, you signed a check, $67,000.
We've already gone through that.
You
We've
didn't.
already gone through that.
Did you sign that check?
Would you like to leave the meeting, Dr. Shinobi?
You want me to leave the
Would
meeting?
you like to leave?
I will leave the meeting if you want.
Please
If you want, I will leave the meeting. You can do MEC yourself. You want me to leave the meeting? I'll leave the meeting.
This conduct is interfering with.
You're not a board member, so please be quiet.
So, thank you very much. Anyhow, yes, it is, conduct is interfering with an official board meeting, so if you'd like to ask him to remove himself, he may, or he may conduct himself appropriately.
Yes,
You want me to leave the meeting?
your choice.
I just told you, said you want to leave the meeting. You're asking, you want me to leave the meeting? Just say the word. Just say leave and I will leave.
You may take,
Just say leave, I will leave.
you may ask to take another break if you want.
No, you can.
You want to ask, leave, I will leave.
You can conduct yourself.
If you lie, I will stop you. She lied. She said that we have not done anything wrong, that I know. She
Yeah, remove
said
yourself,
I was
Dr. Shinobi. Remove yourself from the meeting, please. Thank you so much.
And just remember, I can't. Just remember, education is practicing in the hospital without privilege. So once I leave, you're not gonna be.
Thank you, Dr. Shalobi. Okay, next item. on the agenda. Finish. So I didn't get to reading my,
You don't have to, so that.
okay, done, huh? Now we will approve the agenda. Okay, please note that closed session should be numbered as 7 item on the agenda. There's no motion to approve the agenda.
Is there a motion?
Yes, sir.
You want to make the motion, so you can actually.
I'm looking for a motion to approve the agenda. I need a second. Dr. Brooks?
I still approve.
Okay, call for the question.
Vice President Rolo? Aye. Director Brooks? Director Brooks?
Aye.
President Garnica?
Aye. Okay, item number 5. Reports. Item A, update on operations and finances of the district. Okay, so this will be a standing agenda item in an effort to keep the public informed on new developments regarding the current financial condition of the district and operations of the hospital. First of all, I'd like to say welcome to everyone for joining us tonight. While we are not out of the woods yet, the district board of directors and staff have been working extremely hard to implement our intensive reorganization plan along with our team of consultants. I can tell you that we have had positive outcomes along the way, and I am confident and that more positive news is coming. As we fight to reopen and sustain the full scope of services at the hospital. For example, we just received great news that as a result of legislation signed and chaptered yesterday, CHAPA has informed the Department of Health Care Services that Palo Verde is no longer in default regarding the bridge loan, and to stop intercepting the Medi-Cal check right payments. We are grateful to the state senator, Steve Blythe, for his tireless efforts on the bill. Also, we continue to push to collect significant outstanding receivables. Once again, I want to thank the many members of the community who have been helpful and hopeful as we have been working to overcome the severe fiscal challenges that came our way during the past couple of years. As evidence of the work in progress, we have a lot on the agenda. So now we will get started. So since our NEC yes, is there any public comment?
People's. It's good news. The community is still here to help. I have additional people that are willing to help and expand revenue streams. It's nice that we have a bill to try to get us through the hump. What is our long-term plan? Do we have anything besides, well, we dodged a bullet today? We still cutting services? Can somebody kind of explain that to the public in a meaningful way that we would all understand?
Any more public comment? We will now close public comment. Dr. Brooks, is there any comment that you'd like to make?
I have none at this time. Thank you, Carmel.
I have none. So we will, have to table item B. Go to item C. Financial report.
Good evening. So there's a couple of items that I'd like to bring you up to date on. First item is the Medicare cost report filings. So the Medicare cost reports have been completed for fiscal year 2024. The first of which was for July 1st, 23 through July 19th, 2023 under General Care Hospital. And then the second being for July 20th, 23 through June 30th, 2024 under the critical access designation due to CMS's backdating of the critical access status. The delayed filing of these were brought to my attention upon my CFO appointment and were delayed due to the cyber incident. I'm pleased to report today there's approximately $1 million pending in deposits to the bank account as of this afternoon. I believe that these are the results of the funds that were on holdback from Medicare going back to December of 2024. Additionally, roughly $40,000 is due to be received by the district from the filing, and as well as the district being relieved of an approximately $500,000 liability previously assessed for non-filing penalties. There are a couple of other non-patient receivable items. These include the volume decrease adjustment, which is a filing under CMS to aid hospitals recovering from the financial challenges of COVID. Insurance settlement funds related to the cyber incident, and the $40,000 receivable I previously mentioned due to the cost report filings. In regards to the net cash position, the net cash available position has been disclosed at both board and finance committee meetings. This number oscillates depending on cash collections and cash going out the door. Cash reported does not account for unpaid vendor payables nor outstanding patient receivables. The current cash position is at approximately 25 days today due to the pending deposit as previously mentioned. And in regards to the legislative advocacy, the staff and I are very grateful for our legislative representatives who work very hard on our behalf for the District Bridge Loan 2, which would extend the payment terms for 3 years.
Any public comment? I was just presenting. Any board comment? Dr. Brooks, any board comment on Michael's financial report?
No, Carmel, thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
Next item on the agenda is item D. 25-26 proposed draft budget update.
All right, so as was mentioned at the last board meeting, I would say about 2 weeks ago, we presented a working draft of the budget just to provide insight for the board and to the public. As this is a newer process for the district, there's, we want to make sure that we're working through providing a balanced budget for the district moving forward. And this is going off of the new policies and procedures that went before the board, I would say in January or February this year. So the updates that I promised at the last meeting were for the capital budget and the debt service payments for fiscal year 2026. So we're presenting these for review tonight for approval, which would then be incorporated into the final budget, which will come before you in final form in August.
These were handed to you this evening. They were also available to the public as of this evening. So the first item I'd like to bring your attention to is the summary of expenses by business unit. So this breaks down the capital spending, the proposed capital lease payments, and the annual debt service payment by department. It summarizes the more detailed reports in draft form here that are next. So the first item is going to be the capital budget. This provides detail for capital expenditures the district will need to make in the current and upcoming fiscal years, as well as unfunded capital needs. The primary focus for fiscal year 26 is IT and the investment in a robust IT infrastructure. Also prioritizing the heating, ventilation, air conditioning system items that currently cost a significant amount in repairs and maintenance for the district, and can at times make the hospital uncomfortable due to fluctuations in temperature. Some of these items for plant ops have been previously deferred in prior fiscal years to preserve cash, but the issue is the useful life of many of these equipment have since passed for several years and now are in desperate need of replacement. These items have been reviewed with IT and plant operations managers to determine the capital expenditure needs. So with this, in the proposed draft capital plan, we've tried to prioritize those items that for fiscal year 26, fiscal year 27, and then at the bottom is a list of other unfunded items that will need to be addressed. And as I mentioned, many of these pertain to our IT infrastructure, as well as for the HVAC systems for the district. Also in here is $25,000 for the potential relocation of the business office from the office building into building A of the hospital. The next item I'd like to bring your attention to is the debt budget, presenting both the outstanding loans with the state of California and the capital leases the district is contracted for. Now, with the news from the state on the bridge loan 2, with the completion of paperwork and ratification of CHAPA, the loan will no longer be in default. So the current draft of the budget proposes only the commencement of payments on the distressed hospital loan in June 2026. The current draft, we do have to update the footnote, however, that will be updated for the final version to reflect the news that we got as of this afternoon from the state, which we are very grateful for. Also, we do account for in the debt budget as the $8.5 million distressed hospital loan. This is anticipating the first payment coming due on June 1st, 2026, as is our current deferment agreement with CHAPA. However, the state is still actively working on potential further deferment and forgiveness options. However, these are not readily available to participants in this program. So with these items, these are some of the larger items that have to be incorporated into the budget draft that we had presented at the last meeting. I'm asking for your review, any input that would be helpful as we prepare the final draft of the budget for final presentation in August.
Dr. Brooks, do you have any questions for Mr. Rose, for Michael?
No, I don't, Carmela. Thank you.
Nancy? So we will now open it for public comment on this item. Seeing none, we will now close public comment. Now we need a motion to approve the draft. I need a second
I second the motion.
for the question.
Clarification.
Seeking clarification, I'm sorry.
I don't know if that was the motion.
Motion to approve the district's revenue and expenses in the fiscal year 26 draft budget to incorporate the recommended debt and capital improvement plan prior to the final budget presentation in regular board meeting in August 2025. And actually, I apologize. I realize I have one page still here in front of me. If I may go back. This does not, I failed to mention the capital leases. I mentioned the outstanding loans with the state of California, but we do have capital leases. So these are leases on equipment, buildings that will extend for longer than a year. For generally accepted accounting principles, we do have to account for these as a liability on the balance sheet. So right now we have a couple of outstanding capital leases, including the Pyxis machine, which is a medication dispenser, a couple of items pertaining to the radiology department. So these are contracts that we've already been entered into for some time. We have a number of copiers through Delange Landon, the post machine in the business office, as well as the lease with the medical office building. With this, in the proposed budget fiscal year 25-26, which is the final column in blue, we do not account for this as we are anticipating moving out of that office building and relocating the services currently in the office building into building A of the hospital. I apologize, I missed that.
So, do we have to remake the motion or do we just continue with it?
You may have a friendly amendment to the motion as stated by Mr. Rose and as presented in the agenda. We have public comment.
Yeah, we did.
We can't make an amendment, so you can open public comment again.
Oh, that's true. Does anybody want to make a public comment on his last paragraph?
Yeah, Elizabeth, I'm sorry, I can't see any of this and I don't have glasses, so I can't see it. I do have a question. If we're moving forward on approving this proposed budget that we've been going back and forth on, and we've updated the CHAPA bridge loan and updated these contracts, I recommend that we table this yet again so that we can update the budget and make corrections for the public to see and bring back to the table and have comment.
If I may clarify, this is all draft. This is not the final budget. This is just to incorporate for the final budget, which will be presented in August.
Correct, but the new draft needs to be updated so that we can update. You just keep
Okay.
printing and copying the same thing.
Thank you. Any more public comment? We will not close public comment. And we call for the motion. Dr. Brooks?
I so moved.
Motion to approve the draft and as amended.
I so move.
Call for the question.
Vice President Romo. Director Brooks.
Aye.
President Garnica.
Aye. Okay, item 6. Action item.
May I be recognized?
Yes.
So as of this night, everyone has been presented with the minutes that are in the agenda. I have dual role. And with my dual role, in addition to that, I am also furloughed and I work diligently to bring these forward to the board and to the public. I appreciate everyone's patience and understanding. I believe it would be proper if we table these just to allow time for everyone to review them. Thank you.
We will table item 6. Next item on the agenda is item B. First Amendment to the Laboratory Services Director Agreement. Michael vote.
Can we make a motion to table for a minute?
Okay. Dr. Brooks, we're gonna table the minutes. We're going back. We're gonna go to the minutes. And we're gonna table the minutes.
Are you looking
Can I have
for
a
a motion?
motion to table the minutes?
Are you looking for a motion right now?
Yes, I am, Dr. Brooks.
I so move.
I call for the question, Jason.
Vice President Roa,
Aye.
Director Brooks,
Aye.
President Garnica.
Aye. And now we move to item B. First amendment to the Laboratory Services Director Agreement.
All right, so the first amendment to the Lab Services Director Agreement, Dr. Beck is the physician director for the laboratory, which is a required position under the state to operate the laboratory, which of course is required under Title 22 for the operation of the emergency room, which of course we kept open in our 60-day operating plan. With this, we are asking for a one-year renewal of Dr. Beck's contract.
I'm sorry. Public comment.
I'd like to bring to everyone's attention that, Rosie is voting on the budget. In the budget, I think it's, I can't read it. I think it's under infection control, which is her daughter's position. So she's voting on her daughter's annual salary of $47,000. So I think that that's a conflict of interest for Rosie to be voting this back.
The first amendment to the Laboratory Services Director Agreement is what the public comment is on right now. Seeing none, we will now close public comment. Now we are open for board comment. Dr. Brooks. Do you have any
I would
public
like to
comment
see,
on Dr. Beck?
I would like to see this item tabled until the next scheduled session.
For Dr. Beck, the laboratory agreement?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that, Carmela?
Are you referring to the first amendment to the Laboratory Services Director Agreement of Dr. Beck?
Yeah, on that one, I so approve.
Okay.
Did you say approve?
Yes, it's a, right.
But which
We're
one
doing
is
a
it?
motion. Yeah.
So if there was a motion to table, see if there was a second, if there's not, it fails.
Dr. Brooks, we're going through, the board comment of the first amendment to the Laboratory Services, the Director Agreement of Dr. Beck for the emergency. Do you have any comment regarding that agreement?
No,
Haven't comment. Okay, board comment closed. Now I'm looking for a motion for the first amendment to the Laboratory Services Director Agreement. Do I have a motion for the agreement amendment? No.
I so move.
Dr. Brooks, move. One second.
I second, I made the motion.
Okay. You second? Yeah. Yes. Yes. Yeah.
encourage you guys to stop this
Okay,
meeting.
Dr. Brooks, Joanna is now gonna call for the, she's now gonna call for the question, okay? Go, Gracias.
Dr. Burks, I'm going to call the question for the First Amendment to the Laboratory Services Director Agreement.
Okay,
Vice President Roa. Director Brooks.
yes, I approve.
Thank you. President Garnica.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, next item on the agenda, item C, capital acquisition request, Dell server upgrade, and these backup solutions.
All right, so before we get into this, for any technical questions, I will defer to Jason Osborne here from IT to assist. But right now, the current servers are past their useful life, and we've been informed by Dell will no longer be supported. This can pose a threat to the IT infrastructure for the hospital. So with this, this is a more expensive item, and we were able to received 2 proposals for financing for this piece of equipment, and this was also in the draft of the capital budget that we previously looked at. So this would allow for new servers, a more secure and really robust backup solution, and 36-month financing option with ownership of the equipment upon the completion of the payout. Could the board opt for the buyout option? There's also an option called the fair market value option. It's a few $100s cheaper per month. However, the district does not retain ownership at the end of that agreement.
Okay. Dr. Brooks, do you
Yeah.
have any question regarding the capital acquisition request of the Dell server upgrade that Michael presented? I'm asking if you have any questions.
No,
I have a question. Michael, the buyout, I understand you recommended the buyout. The buyout is 36 months. In the 36 months, we own the equipment free and clear, right? When does it become obsolete? We have to start this all over again.
So. So this sort of equipment should have a lifespan of 5 to 10 years on average, especially a new top-of-the-line server. I would move to say that it is imperative that the board approve the server and the backup for both logistic, operational, but in my opinion, mainly cybersecurity purposes. This sort of thing is, the buyout, at the end of those 3 years, we would own the equipment. And from then on, all we would have to pay for is additional service from Dell, which is much cheaper than the equipment itself, obviously. And sorry, not used to the microphone. Now I get it. But yes, at the end, we would own that equipment, and then I would see at least an additional 2 to 7 years of life after that.
Yeah, I was also concerned about, if we're contemplating possible chapter 9, and we're trying to make sure that the chapter 9 judges and so forth. I'm gonna look at and make sure that we are trying to budget, trying to cut services, trying to make sure that we're doing whatever we can. Are they going to look at this and say, if you're trying to cut the budget, and now you want to have a contract for 140? What if the bankruptcy judgment failed on that? I know that it's something that we can't know. But how does it look?
I can't speak directly to what a bankruptcy judge would say in this instance. However, what I do know is that should the servers we have at the moment go down, it may be very hard to be able to bring back the IT infrastructure we currently have, in which case we may not be able to function. So I would say that this is a critical aspect, critical spending for the district. Because if the IT infrastructure goes down, we would have to move everything to pen and paper, which may be incredibly difficult. We saw it through the cyber incident, and we're still playing catch up from that too.
I understand. It's vital.
And the other comment I'd like to make on this is that even if we approve it tonight, it doesn't guarantee that we have to sign this immediately. So if, we have this, at the very least, we can still, delay as needed, assuming that there's no issues with the current servers, to preserve cash and as we work on the budget. So if we have to come back with an adjustment, we can. However, there is a high level of risk with this time that we must weigh. So I want to make sure that at least we're prepared should the worst case scenario happen, that our existing servers go down. We don't have to hold an emergency board meeting, yet another vote, yet at least we are prepared, even though we may not take action on this tomorrow.
Okay, so do I have a motion?
I never had public comment.
Oh. Okay, we need to work on that. Okay, public comment. Thank you for reminding me.
Hey guys, question in regards to the servers. As you know, I was there during the EMR conversion. And one of the requirements was that all of that stuff had to be updated. Was that equipment updated then, which was almost 2 years ago? And if so, we're right here less than 2 years later asking for the same thing. So did we replace the servers and do all the upgrades? Because Cerner required it.
Yeah, I can definitely answer that. Yeah, I can definitely answer that. So at the time, those servers were in life, and they've only recently become end of life. But when the end of life happens, that stops the support of the company that facilitated that equipment in the first place, which puts the hospital at risk for both operational failure as well as security failure. So this is something that we really, in my opinion, it's not optional. I've worked with you.
Yeah, Jason, did we replace the servers
No,
then?
no, they were not required to be replaced then. And
I heard the difference between renting and buying was a few $100s a month. Could we have more specifics to the total cost? And also, what type of guarantee does it come with any insurance if we do get hacked again? What guarantee do we have that we're not back where we were a couple of years ago?
So my question is, why aren't we going to a virtual server rather than a physical server? It's offsite, so it's not, not something that can be damaged at the hospital or burned down or something like that. Your data is stored offsite at different sites, and it's considerably less cost. Over the period of 3 years, you're looking at about $40,000 to $50,000 less if you were to go with a virtual server, which is state and federal compliant with HIPAA and all the other laws like SOX and everything else.
You can get it cheaper if you don't go with somebody like Microsoft Azure, and you go with Google or one of the other cloud server-based companies out there. So my question is, why are we going with physical hardware that does have an end of life when you can actually just use a virtual machine, do the same job for less cost, and have top of the line equipment, top of the line protection, and top of the line security all the time from somebody else?
Sure. So there's a number of reasons why a physical server might be best for this smaller environment. I'll let you know that we are actually, this contract would include a 3-tier Hyper-V solution that is hybrid cloud enabled, meaning at any point the hospital could easily spin up an Azure environment if necessary. As well, over time, within the 3 years, you might be right that the cost would be lower, but after the 3 years, we would still be paying the full amount for virtual servers. After that, the physical server is owned by us, and kept by us. The service cost is going to be much, much less. You're also looking at ingress and egress fees for moving data around. That's going to add up quickly if we're moving data quickly, which we do often move data pretty quickly. As well, the Windows service licensing lives for the life of the hardware and is not a subscription-based contract. So over the lifetime of the hardware, it's likely that the hardware will end up being lower cost over that time period.
But you're looking at hardware that's going to have an end of life here
Right.
in the future. And you're also looking at cost to operate. You have HVAC that you have to pay for. You have IT staff that you have to pay for. You have a reduction in IT staff when you have a virtual server. So you have less employee costs, you have less energy costs, you have less tooling costs.
It's definitely something to weigh. I can just tell you, I've given you my reasonings for it, but it is, this is the recommendation that we made based off of many different factors. We had talked to Amazon, we talked to Oracle, we've looked at the virtual solution, and this is a close comparison with those.
And have you looked at your energy costs? Because I actually work in this specific industry, and I know what it costs to run a server room. And it's tens of thousands of dollars a month for the server packs that we have. I know that this is a much smaller server, but you're looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars over years for electricity where you live.
I'll mention we would still have to have the server racks for other servers that aren't these servers. So these servers are getting added to our server racks, then we would still have a multitude of servers that aren't these servers in the server racks. So really, we're just adding the cost onto a smaller cost overall to the actual full server.
Right, but every time you add a server, you add heat to the group, and you have to have it. You add one server, you'll add 5 degrees.
But these are also replacing servers that are already there, and it's actually lessening the heat. We're replacing about 4 servers with 1 server.
And with virtual servers, it's 4 servers.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we will not.
My name is T. Coates. I think this is pretty interesting, the Dell server and the hardware and everything. But you're still in $12 million debt, and you're talking about going in for $4,000 a month when you're having struggle getting payroll right now. How are you going to pay the extra $4,000 a month for these servers? And I know the time is coming, you may need this stuff, but I think you need to take care of the big picture with all the money that's owed. How are you going to get out of that hole? How are you going to add the stuff that you actually need? These servers should have been taken care of a long time ago. While you guys were out spending all that $12 million, you could probably put these in sooner. So how are you going to pay for them now? I think payroll takes priority and emergency room takes priority right now. Your CNO is not here tonight, and I'm not going to forget your CNO anymore, according to gossip. Your CEO is not here, and you're trying to pass all these budgets, and the people that should be putting the input don't even care enough to show up for us. And you wonder why we get upset. And sometimes I just get so flabbergasted with you people that I know you volunteer, and I appreciate the fact that people volunteer for these positions. But if you can't handle them, then get out of the kitchen and let somebody else get in there that can cook. Thank you.
Didn't use my 3 minutes. Yeah, I have a great recommendation, Lee, for that. So we can forego Sandy and Aya's rent, electric, her month, her car allowance every month, and Trina's salary could cover our service.
Anyone with a comment?
Please have this tabled and have a comparison of maybe some other options. This was presented like it was the only option. And there's a community member that seems to think that there might be something that might be a better alternative.
Any more public comment?
Don't get that. All those things something wrong. Okay, well, I appreciate, David bringing this other proposition that we have in writing so we can see it. Thank you.
Any more public comment? Okay, we will now close public comment.
Here's the mic.
Do you have a motion? To approve the capital acquisition request?
I'm sorry, were you addressing me, Carmela? No, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Michael, what is Dell finished up with their contract? Mom?
I do not believe we have contract for the existing equipment. Those should have been paid off years ago,
Can you send up into the mic?
so. Yeah, those are at end of life.
So we table it when you, things is that.
Okay, so just piggyback on what you said. Did you say earlier that you already looked around and did research and all that kind of stuff on what was proposed?
Yes, yes, we did speak with both Amazon and Oracle leading cloud-based vendors to explore those options as well. Costs were very similar when we got comparisons. And this one is a hybrid solution. The real concern difference maker, a big thing is going to be that with a hybrid solution, we have on-site and cloud. Say our internet goes down, well, guess what? Now all the computers are still working. They're not down. If we're on a cloud-only solution and the internet is down, then none of the computers are going to function with any of the servers. So there's many different reasons to go this way. In a healthcare environment, I totally get what the man's saying here. I actually am a big proponent of the cloud. I think there's a lot more cloud solutions I'd like to bring into this hospital. But I think at this time, we need to worry about the healthcare of the people who come to this hospital, the citizenry of the town, and realize that the more consistent, safest option is going to be a hybrid physical and cloud solution like the one that's being presented today.
Thank you.
And I have a motion to approve the capital acquisition request Dell server. Okay, it's being moved. Do you have a second, Dr. Briggs?
Yes,
On the question, Joanna?
I have a question to go ahead and approve the capital acquisition request. It's for the Dell server upgrade and VAM backup solution with a buyout financial option. Vice President Romo,
Aye.
Director Brooks,
Aye.
President Garnica.
Aye. Now we move to item D. Synergy Information Solutions Firewall Service Plan Renewal.
All right, so another critical IT item. This was also built into the draft of the capital budget that we discussed earlier this evening. So with this, the Palo Alto network firewalls are an integral part of the hospital's data security. The service agreement is coming to an end and must be renewed. There are three options that were offered by Palo Alto Networks through Synergy Information Solutions. There are a couple of different options we can look at, but the most cost-effective option is the three-year option because of its cost per year of $4,507 per year. However, given the district's financial situation, there is the option to opt for 1 year. However, the cost per year is almost double. With this, this is a really important part, especially given our cyber incident earlier this year, that we do not lapse on this agreement. However, right now we're recommending the 3-year plan given its lower cost per year.
Is there any questions regarding the Synergy Information Solutions Firewall Service Plan from the board?
I would actually like to table this and learn more about the details.
Dr. Brooks, this is about the firewall that we already presently have.
Am I not allowed to table it?
He's about to put the motion down to table. If there's a second, then proceed the vote, and if not, it fails, and you.
Okay, table.
So this will expire in October. So
we still need a motion to table.
I'll make a motion. Do you want to take public comment first, or you just want to skip that?
We can just skip it.
I think you should take it. Let's take it because it's not time yet. This motion will be the table. So go ahead and call. If there's no more no more board comments, go ahead and call.
Because of what table? All right. Okay, so is there any public comment? No public comment. So that was a motion to table it.
I so approve. I approve.
But is it,
Please take the question.
Dr. Brooks, do you approve the firewall being, tabled? Or did you approve the agreement?
Let's go ahead and do it this way. So he made a motion to table. That was the first. Is there a second? That's on the floor. So is there a second to take?
I'll say.
Vice President Romo,
Aye.
Director Brooks,
Aye.
President Garnica.
Aye.
To clarify, we're tabling this item.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item E, Medicaid state directed payments, intergovernmental transfer. Michael Rose.
All right, so we have another IGT program that has come up for district hospitals within the state of California. This is the Medicaid state directed payment voluntary IGT. This does require board approval to participate in and sign the agreement, which is due tomorrow to the Department of Healthcare Services. Then the funding of the program, the funds must be transferred by August 22nd to DHCS. The district must fund $84,425.54. The estimated gross return on this program in approximately 60 days is $248,000, which would provide a net gain to the district of $163,000. With this, the staff recommends the approval of the district participation in the IGT program and authorizing myself to sign the certification and transfer the funds by August 22nd to DHCS.
Okay. Dr. Brooks, do you have any questions to Michael regarding the Medicaid state directed payments of the IGTs?
So I'll just say aye or no, whatever. Yeah.
You have any questions?
What was his response?
No. What would you say the order is?
Okay, yeah, I did have a question. When we talked about this with Vanessa, we know that would they net out the amount that they want us to move forward, instead of us giving them a pastor's check basically for 84,000, would they net it out of the amount of money that they're going to give us, and just was that ever brought up to the Medicaid state payment?
So for clarification, that was in discussion of the voluntary rate range program, which is the next IGT coming up. Because that is a significantly larger program that's requiring millions of dollars in funding, whereas this is $84,000. And as I mentioned, we have a very sizable deposit coming in tomorrow. So that way we are able to allocate funds to fund this program, and in roughly 60 days, see about $163,000 net return to the district. But we can get to that on the next item.
Now we open for public comment.
I do not want to stay all night. First off, I'm egregiously upset with the both of you ladies. We can see that Dr. Brooks is having a hard time. And you are coaching him and you are redirecting him. And that man deserves way more respect than either of you are giving him. I would recommend you cancel this meeting immediately. Furthermore, Michael, thank you for your service. And Jason, thank you. You don't get enough thanks. I know the work we do. We continue talking about IGT. Have we paid back the retirement fund that we were negative in? Providence Bank said $60-something thousand. Have you paid the employees their PTO time? Dana is working every day and she's not going to get PTO anymore. Anaya's getting a paycheck, Tony's getting a paycheck, Trina's getting a paycheck. Everybody here's getting a paycheck. But the employees are suffering. And we want to continue talking about putting this money that we do not have into another account. The priority of any funds from the state would be to take care of the staff and the employees that show up 16, 17, 18 days in a row, working 20, 30 hours. That is a priority if you care about this community. You should be ashamed of yourself. It breaks my heart to see what you're doing with Dr. Brooks.
We will now close public comment. Dr. Brooks, do you have any comments?
Not really.
Comment? Motion? I'll move it. A motion made by, do I have a second, Dr. Brooks, on the motion to accept the Medicaid directed payments intergovernmental transfer?
No. Malfeasance, look it up.
Dr. Brooks,
Yes,
do I have a second on the Medicaid state directed payments intergovernmental transfer? Leslie made the motion. I need a second.
Second it.
Yeah, second.
In the meeting,
If there's no second, it fails and it fails, then we go on.
Then table it, so he can be here and understand it. Get it to be here, he cannot be in the.
You can't hear.
what do you wait?
I'll second.
Carmella, look up malfeasance.
So, can you call for the question?
Vice President Rowell,
Aye.
Director Brooks,
aye,
President Garnica,
Aye. Item F, voluntary rate range program, intergovernmental transfer agreement. Michael Rose.
All right, so the voluntary rate range program intergovernmental transfer is the largest of the IGTs that the district participates in. Of course, in all of the IGTs we participate in, these provide additional revenue for the district to help fund payroll, to help fund liabilities for the district. So these do provide an extra source of revenue that is needed not only for our district, but for all districts across the state of California. So this particular one is the most challenging given the amount of funding we have to front before we're able to receive the revenue on the back end approximately 60 days later. And this was discussed, particularly the challenges of this IGT were discussed at length at this month's Finance Committee meeting. It is the recommendation of the staff to sign the agreements to participate while continuing to work with our legislative representatives on alternative financing measures. In my conversations with the District Hospital Leadership Forum, who work very closely with our leaders in Sacramento and with all of the district hospitals in the state of California, what I have been able to gather, as they're very well aware of our financial status, is that whether we opt tonight not to participate, which the agreements are due to the state and to two of the payers on August 1st, then it's unlikely that the district will be able to participate in future years, as this is a voluntary program. This is not a state mandated program. So there's the option of we don't participate and we're dropped from the program. There also is the option, which I've been told has been seen before, where if we sign the agreements to participate and work to continue to find, particularly with our legislative representatives, to find ways to be able to finance this. Then we sign the agreement, we have until Thanksgiving to find a way to participate. If we are not able to fund it and we miss the deadline, again, we're still not able to participate in future years. And the funds that would have been allocated to the district are then reallocated to other California's special district hospitals. So with this, there's a cost benefit in either way you go. However, whether you agree to do it or not agree to it, you agree not to do it or you agree to do it and not be able to fund it, still, we potentially would be dropped from the program in future years. What I would say is we still have time. We're still trying to work as diligently as we can with our legislative representatives to find ways that we can work so the district can participate. Because right now, it could net the district approximately $6.5 million, which is absolutely needed to close the budget gap for fiscal year 26. However, with this, the district has to be able to front almost $3.5 million, which in prior years, we were able to use the line of credit we had with Provident Bank to fund the district's operational expenses, while we had to outlay the cash for the IGT, which is approximately 60-day turnaround. With this, we have the benefit of Molina more than doubling our participation amount and the introduction of Kaiser Permanente into the payer mix in this program. Because last year's funding was approximately, I want to say about 2.8 million. The prior year was about 1.4 million. So because of our continued participation, we've been able to increase this, which really does provide an additional lump sum of cash to operate the hospital. As was mentioned, the finance committee meeting, one of the recommendations we had was reaching out to the three payers who are listed here to determine if they would be willing to provide us with an advance against net accounts receivables. However, in reviewing our accounts receivable balance, the IDHP, the net collectible is, as of present moment, is estimated at under $500,000. Molina, 40,000, and Kaiser 16,000. So these three combined are not enough to fund this program. However, it's my understanding that we still have some options as we continue to work with our representatives to continue this program. Whether the district participates or we sign the agreements and don't participate, likely to be dropped from the program in the future. However, if we do agree to participate and are able to fund it, then this would provide an excellent lump sum of cash for the district.
So your recommendation is?
To sign the agreements, and myself, staff, and consultants continue to work with our legislative representatives who've been working very tirelessly on the district's behalf, in working with the state to work to hopefully have the district be able to participate in this program and provide very needed cash for the district.
Okay. Is there any questions from the board? Dr. Brooks, do you have any questions regarding the voluntary rate range program?
No, I have no questions.
Are we open for public comment?
Neither.
Why are we having this conversation? Again, we don't have money to put in here, and you guys are banking on a one-time payment. We put a lot of time, energy, and payroll into these negotiations about this IGT to these things every month. Where are the strategic business plans with communication to, let's say, Desert, Eisenhower, Scripps, UC Davis, Imperial Valley, on assisting us in getting out of this and partnering with them? There is so much energy put into IGT, which is a one-time thing every year that we don't have, right? We can't go to the grocery store. We don't have money to go to the grocery store. We can't borrow the money from the state. We're going to have to pay it back. Where are the strategic business plans that are long-term goals that will help keep this hospital alive? Where are those at? We've not heard any of those. We've not heard any conversations with any other doctors, companies, affiliates, any groups, anything. The only person we've heard from, I think, is the assistant mayor who's been having conversations. Where are those strategic business plans in a time of crisis?
Any more public comment?
Steve, Coach, I agree with everything Elizabeth said. You're making all these great plans. Where are you going to get the money? Where are you going to get $3.5 million right now to invest in this that may bring you $6 million down the road? You don't have 6 or 8 months to get a return on any of this money. You need to take care of what is available right now, putting it and trying to get our debt down, not making more debt for us in the meantime. Your guys' strategy is beyond, it's beyond even comprehension. You have no strategy, and I don't care what Michael tells you, he can put anything on paper and it'll look good. But do you have the money to back what he wants to do? He even said we can't afford it right now. So why are you even contemplating this? Why are you even gonna vote on it? Just like you voted on everything else tonight that should have been tabled, but you voted it anyway. And I agree with what she said about Dr. Brooks. You ladies, all of you, should be ashamed of yourselves, and you too, Michael, for the way you've treated Dr. Brooks. How disrespectful of every one of you, and I'm ashamed to be part of it.
Still being everybody 50 Oasis Village Court. I just wanted to state that on my live here, Trina Sarton's daughter is on here, and she thinks that it is a complete disgrace what you guys are doing to Dr. Brooks. One of your board members, family members on here live talking about it. I just want to make sure you knew it in real time, not later when you decide to sit down and watch it. This is disgusting what we're watching you guys sit here and do, the form of manipulation you're doing with him, and he can't hear, he doesn't know what's going on. So he's voting on things and saying yes and asking to table things he doesn't clearly understand, and neither one of you will stop it. And you sit here and you wonder why we want to try to recall you off this board. If this was any other set of people sitting up here giving us feedback and wanting to make changes in this hospital, we would be involved. We would not be fighting against you. We'd be working with you, since we told you that day, Carmel, in front of the hospital. We said we want to work with you. When you stood there in front of us and told us, I don't know anything about finances. I don't get this. I don't get that. You don't understand. And it's okay to say I don't understand it. But to sit here and take advantage of a man this age and sit here and have him vote on things, it is negligent. It's gross. And you literally, I don't know how you sleep at night.
But they taken advantage of Dr. Brooks. I think the problem is that what's happened, he cannot hear. They said.
So how does he know? He doesn't know. Ashley said, well, since she can't be here.
So, we will now close public comment. Is there any board comment regarding the voluntary range program? Dr. Brooks,
Yes,
do you have any comments made on what Michael Rose said regarding the agreement with the voluntary rate range program?
yeah, I'm in approval with it, and beyond that, I have no other comment.
So I need a motion. Is there a second? Dr. Brooks, you need a second?
Yes, I second
Call for the question.
Vice President Romo. Aye. Director Brooks,
it. Aye.
President Garnica.
Aye. Next item on the agenda. We'll go into closed session. Is there any comment regarding closed session item?
A lot of the closed sessions, like, I probably need Dr. Soloti present for those. I need to update that. Rosie, you made a, comment earlier that you've done nothing sinful or anything wrong. Sometimes doing something wrong is the lack of doing anything. Malfeasance is a broad term that describes conduct that is inherently wrong or unlawful. It is most commonly used in reference to actions by public officials or employees who have failed to perform their duties required of them by the statute. This description of corruption or misconduct may be used in both civil and criminal legal actions.
Is there any more public comment regarding the closed session items? We will now close public comment. on the closed session item? So the closed session items are medical staff credentialing and, oh, what's that, you know? We'll go to number 2. Item number 2, conference with legal counsel matters posing a threat to critical infrastructure, controls critical infrastructure information relating to cybersecurity and consideration of agreement for professional services in connection with therewith pursuant to Government Code Section 54.957, A1 and 2, Health and Safety Code Section 32.106, and Civil Code Section 34.26.1. Item 3, the conference with legal counsel regarding existing litigation pursuant to the Government Code 54.956.9, Yesenia Garcia, et al. At Palo Verde Healthcare District, Superior Court, Riverside County, case number CBR 12550-2687. Item 4, conference with legal counsel regarding existing litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54.956.9. Tony Gonzalez and Palo Verde Healthcare District Superior Court of Riverside County, case number CBR 12550-2320. Item 5, conference with legal counsel regarding existing litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54.956.9, Felicia Banks versus Palo Verde Hospital Healthcare District Superior Court, Riverside County, case number CBR 12550-2787. Item 6, conference with legal counsel regarding existing litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54.956.9, Susan Lemon versus Palo Verde Healthcare District, U.S. District Court for the Central District of California, case 525 CV 01110 SSST DTV. Item 7, conference with legal counsel regarding significant exposure to litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54.956.9B. For potential cases. Item 8, conference with legal counsel regarding potential litigation or litigation pursuant to Government Code Section 54.956.9B for one potential case. Item 9, trade secrets, approval of confidential agreement pursuant to Health and Safety Code Section 32.106, Government Code Section 11126, and Civil Code Section 34.26.9. Item A, Premier Health Partners Agreement. Okay. We will now go into closed session.